everybody? Welcome to episode 162 of Cameron Sports Podcast. Show us Cameron Lindsay. I'm back with another brand new episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking some USFL football, mainly about my Birmingham Stallions. 2026 season has already begun. We 2 games in this season, and let's just wanted to talk about the team. Have a few topics. What I expect from the Birmingham Stallions. What do I think and expect from our new head coach that we hired this offseason, AJ former Alabama quarterback, former USFL and NFL quarterback AJ McCarron, and what are the benefits of watching the UFL as a fan? Because NFL season is over, college football season is over, so what is the benefits of having football in the spring from the UFL. Let's get right into it. First, I want to talk about the first 2 games of season for the Stallions. Week 1, played the Louisville Kings on the road, won that game 15-13, low scoring. But it was a very competitive game. From what I watched, our defense, was very good, created turnovers. Our offense, struggled a little slow. It's the first game of the season, but they was clutch when they needed to be, especially, Matt Corral and Justin Ross, a very good player. I remember watching him when he was a freshman at Clemson. He had a really great game in that national championship against Alabama. Him and Trevor Lawrence, and very, very great talented player. I know he didn't really live up to what we thought he could be in the NFL. Not saying that he won't be, but it's mainly because of injuries he had. A few off the field issues a little bit, but he's a very good player. And when healthy, I think Justin Ross can be a really reliable wide receiver for us in the NFL if he could just stay healthy long enough. Week 2, we played Houston Gamblers. Now this game, I think we should have won. I think we got cheated, especially during a pass interference call. Now, I will say the UFL this season is going to be interesting. It's to a point where coaches can challenge plays that they believe should have been called a penalty. So if it's like roughing the passer, holding, offsides, pass interference, if the refs didn't call it, coaches now can challenge like, hey, I believe that was there's a pass interference or a holding call that y'all didn't call that I want y'all to look at. And a pass, I remember a holding call that wasn't called that AJ McCarron challenged. I looked at it, I said, yep, that's holding. We won that. And then on a crucial 4th down, they called Houston Gamblers head coach Kevin Sumlin challenged a pass interference call, and they won that, and that ended up being crucial for us because, like I said, they put them in field goal range, and we ended up losing the game. They kicked the game-winning field goal. We lost 22-20. So right now we're 1-1 to start the season. I wish we was 2-0, but it's okay. You lose some, you win some. Both games have been close for us, so I have faith in my Stallions. And like I said, that leads me to, again, one of my first topics. What do I expect from the Birmingham Stallions this season? And one of the things I wrote down is get back to championship mentality. And the reason is because the Stallions are a dynasty. When the USFL came back into existence around 2022, the Stallions, like I said, won the championship in 2022. Then they won back-to-back in 2023. Well, now when the UFL and the XFL, the USFL and the XFL decided to combine to one league, they won that. Winning the 3-peat, becoming a dynasty officially. They won in 2024. Now 2025, they came a little short in the semifinals. So last year, we didn't get it done, but the Birmingham Stallions are a dynasty in the UFL. And we have had really good players. We have had great coaches. So I expect us to get back to championship mentality, especially with the head coach that we have. Now, which leads me to my second topic. What do I expect from a head coach and think of AJ McCarron? For those of you who are college football fans, who are old enough, like I said, I'm old enough, I'm 29. I grew up watching, I'm not an Alabama fan, but I grew up watching AJ McCarron, former Alabama quarterback, played under Nick Saban, won multiple national championships, one as a backup and 2 as a starter. Helped Alabama win back-to-back in 2011 and 2012 as a starting quarterback. When they beat LSU that year in 2011 and 2012, they crushed both LSU and Notre Dame in the national championship. So he knows how to win. He's a great leader. He knows the quarterback position really, really well. Like I said, he played under Nick Saban. He knows how an offense should be ran. I be watching AJ McCarron's podcast with former coaches that he played under, former players at Alabama and that he played with, or in the NFL. And listen to him talk. He knows what he's talking about. And I seen a clip where he's saying where some coaches fail at that coach at Alabama that coach under Nick Saban's coaching tree. Where they fail at, some of them fail at is they try to beat Nick Saban. And he made it clear that he's not trying to beat Nick Saban. He's going to be AJ. He's going to be his own coach, his own person, his own man. And I like that, especially as a coach, as a Birmingham Stallions fan, and as a journalist. So like I said, it's not just somebody that Birmingham Stallions decided to just randomly hire, that they believe this is somebody that could be a really good coach, leader of men. Like I said, he knows how to win. He knows how offense run, and he knows how a quarterback supposed to play and look like. So, and like I said, he knows how to win. He knows how it feels like to win. So maybe in the NFL, AJ was a decent player. He may not have been like first round pick like Tua or Bryce Young, or a second round pick like Jalen Hurts. They picked out of Alabama, but he knows how to win. Cause like I said, at Alabama, he won 3 national championships, 1 as a backup, 2 as a starter. So I feel like this is somebody that is perfect for us, that can help us bounce back and get right back into championship dynasty mode that we've been 3 out of the last 4 years. So I really, really do like the AJ McCarron. I think is a great hire that we made before the season has started. So yeah, now obviously, I'm talking my last topic. What are the benefits of watching the UFL? And I'm gonna tell you, football during the spring, and I got a little bit more into it each season, more and more. And like I said, with me being in Phoenix City, not too far from Birmingham, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the Stallions. That's my team. I want to watch it. So obviously, you want a team to root for, and that's the team that's closest to me. And like I said, also because there's no college football and there's no NFL to watch. Both of them are gone. So it's like, of course, once those two are gone, it's like, you wonder, like, dang, some people may not, like I said, this sports podcast that I started to talk about, I wanted to talk about multiple sports, multiple different topics, wrestling, baseball, hockey, on all levels, boxing, UFC, talk about little stuff here and there, because some people may not be a fan of the other sports. They might just be a fan of a particular sport right there. So, and if people who are football fans, I'm like, okay, like, you can't really, I like talk football even during the off season, but, some people may not pay attention to that. And with the UFL, something to watch during the spring play, and these are not just random players. These are players that have played at a high level in the NFL or coming from college. Players that are trying to get back to the NFL, and with the UFL being in the spring, this gives players also a chance to get back to the NFL. Like, look at players like I'm trying to think of his name for Dallas. Kevontae Turpin, wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He was a former USFL MVP, and when he was really good in the USFL, that ended up helping him get a contract with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's been in the NFL since. So, kudos to him. And like I said, great, and also like I said, it's great football all around. Sights, sounds, play-by-play players who played in the league. So the USFL, not the UFL. You get to hear the coaches calling plays, coordinators communicate, hear them challenging calls, hear the quarterback giving a play. You don't hear that in college or the NFL. Now, granted, crowds are not as big, but you get to hear players talk on the field, like before the play or even during sometimes. So, or after. So that's cool. I think that's really, really dope to see and watch. And like I said, great play-by-play calling by journalists, announcers who usually call plays or games during the college football season or the NFL. You hear that, and like I said, players that if you're a true football fan, you're a true journalist like myself, you recognize players. Like I said, Justin Ross, Matt Corral, Deion Kane, AJ McCarron, who's our head coach, who also played in the UFL, played with the St. Louis Battlehawks, played at Alabama, played in the NFL. You recognize those players, those coaches. So, but yeah, I think it's definitely worth watching, and I think everybody should tune in. If you want some football to watch the UFL. You got games on Fridays, Saturday, and Sundays. So, yeah. Now, like I said, for our next game for my Birmingham Stallions would be this Sunday at 2 o'clock, I believe, on the road against the St. Louis Battlehawks. This is the same team that AJ McCarron played for in the UFL, and he made it clear on his podcast, not this week, but in the past, that he would love to play against them. Because, it kind of ended a little bad. Not too bad, I don't believe, but he ended on a way that he didn't really like. And now that he's a coach, I'm pretty sure he really wants his win. I think we should get this win for him. Go to 2-1, get back on track. It's a new week, go 1-0. Just like he's saying, I've been watching how he's been coaching the Stallions during camp before the season started. And I like what I see so far. Like I said, granted it would have been nice to be 2-0 this week, but it's okay. It is what it is. Water under the bridge. But I believe we got a good chance to get this one in a row against the St. Louis Battlehawks. I believe my Stallions. I like how our defense is looking. We got some really, really good skill position players. I just think that maybe slowly get the offense more running a little bit more this week as we're getting more into the season, just a little bit. So, that's today's episode, talking about Birmingham Stallions 2026 season. What do I expect from them? What do I think of our new head coach, AJ McCarron, former Alabama quarterback, NFL, USFL quarterback, AJ McCarron. Like I said, I like the hire. He's a winner. He knows how to win. Like I said, I've been watching him since he was in Alabama. He was in college when I was younger. And like I said, the benefits of watching the UFL are really, really good, especially for a football fan that loves watching football, competitive football, high-level football, and the UFL is that. And like I said, especially if you're a Birmingham Stallions fan, this team is worth watching. Like I said, this is a dynasty. This is not a team that's bad. This is an organization that has been winning three out of the last 4 years. Like I said, last year they lost in the semifinal to the Michigan Panthers, but I believe we can get back to that this season. But I appreciate y'all watching, and if you want to continue to touchdown with Cam, or you're somebody new and you're like, you know what, hey, I want to touchdown with Cam, all you gotta do is just click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss no brand new episode. Anytime that I upload and post, I'm here each and every week, just about. And yeah, like I said, I look forward to it as we keep going each week, talking different sports, new topics. We got a lot of things coming up in different sports. And I'll catch y'all next time. This has been your favorite host, Cameron Lindsay, of your new favorite sports podcast. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.